Don't do drugs, kids. And don't drink and drive. That is what the GEM is saying this festive period. Of course, this is the most likely time of year, really, where people do silly things like drink drive and drug drive as well. It's a very difficult time, it's Christmas for a lot of people. It's a time when a lot of alcohol is flowing as well. So people, unfortunately, are more likely to do something stupid like drive home after a few drinks, which is never a good idea. But let's have a look at this article on the motoringchronicle.com, guys. So, as police forces across the country embark on this year's seasonal drink drive operations, GEM Motoring Assist is calling on drivers across the country to make safety their priority and ensure they take no risk with drinking and driving. GEM urges everyone looking forward to a festive night out to ensure there's no temptation to drive home afterwards. Pre-booking a taxi, agreeing a designated driver, or making arrangements to stay at a friend's house or a hotel are sensible arrangements that remove the risk associated with drink driving. GEM fully supports calls for a reduction in the drink drive limit, which research shows would save at least 25 lives and prevent a further 95 serious injuries every year. I mean, yeah, it depends what alcohol you have, obviously, but in general, I'm taught that if you have one drink or maybe two, you'll be fine. But it depends on the drink, obviously, depends on you, your tolerance, depends if you've had something to eat. There's a lot of different factors that go into your ABV, your alcohol blood volume, I think it is the actual term for that. So, again, don't take that as advice. I'm just saying that's the thing. But in some countries, like when I went to Romania last year, I found out that you can't drink and drive. And as the only guy that could drive in Romania, because my friend who I was going with, he couldn't. He doesn't know how to drive. Meant that I had to do all the driving, so I couldn't have any alcohol while driving, even to a short, just a restaurant or whatever, just half a beer or a beer or whatever. Couldn't do it. A lot of countries have a zero tolerance on that sort of thing, but the UK does not. So there we go. That's a controversial issue that I could get into in a different video at some point, but not today. As part of the 2023 police operation to tackle drink driving, police officers conducted nearly 50,000 breath tests, of which 9.5% were positive, failed, or refused. The current limit in England and Wales is 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood. Scotland reduced its drink drive limit to 50 milligrams in 2014 to bring it in line with the vast majority of other European countries. The message is clear. According to GEM, alcohol impairs judgment, and driving after drinking even a small amount of alcohol raises every driver's risk of being involved in a collision. There are other factors as well that play into this as well. I mean, there's things like driving while tired as well, which is legal, but obviously very dangerous as well. There's a lot of different things that can impair you while driving, but alcohol is a very avoidable one. You don't need to have a drink before driving, although sometimes people need to drink drinking and being tired is a bad one, but driving while tired as well is also a bad one. But sometimes you got to do it, unfortunately. It's a tough one, that. It's a very controversial one as well. Roads policing numbers may have fallen considerably in recent years, with fewer police breathalyzer tests taken in place, but the risks of drink driving have never gone away. GEM head of road safety James Luckhurst has said, "It's shocking that 18% of all road deaths should be drink driving related, because these are entirely preventable. No one should be willing to risk driving after drinking alcohol. That's why this Christmas we urge everyone to take personal responsibility of their own safety and safety of others who share the road. It's not about the risk of being caught or trying to establish how much we can drink and remain legal. Impairment begins with the first sips. If you're drinking, then don't drive. If you need to drive, then don't drink alcohol. Forward planning takes away pressure to get behind the wheel, so we encourage you to plan your night out, book a taxi home, appoint a designated driver, or stay the night at a friend's house or a hotel. Alternatively, appoint a designated driver to enjoy a wider than ever selection of non-alcoholic drink options, including mocktails, juices, and fruit punches, as well as non-alcoholic beers, lagers, ciders, and spirits. To be fair, some of those non-alcoholic beers are actually decent. I will be honest. I don't really drink them so much anymore. I prefer Coca-Cola or something, or Pepsi or whatever, but I used to drink them quite a bit before driving, or while, going somewhere, just non-alcoholic ones. Gave me an excuse to save a bit of money as well, which is always nice. Some pubs even offer a complimentary soft drink to drivers during the festive season. I've never seen that before, but I'm guessing it might be a thing in some places. I've never known it up here, though, personally. Yeah, guys, it's one of them things, a lot of people do it. A lot of people drink alcohol before driving. I personally don't. I avoid doing that at any kind of cost. If I don't want to drink on some night, I might just drive myself down to town or whatever. So then I've got the excuse like, well, I'm driving. I've got to get up early tomorrow. I've got lots of things to do. That's my usual kind of excuse, and that way I don't have a drink. So, there's that as well. So, yeah. Basically, guys, don't be an idiot. Don't drink drive. Especially don't do drugs and drive either. That's an even worse one for many reasons. But there we go, guys. Yeah, are you someone who has done that in the past? I'm not asking you to name names or whatever. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it all? Should the UK reduce its drink driving limit? To be honest, I think that's a good idea. 50 people a year, whatever it was. What was the exact figure with that? 18% of all road deaths are driving related, which is terrible. And 25 lives and nearly 100 injuries when it comes to that as well. So yeah, that's a lot of people. I mean, you might think, oh, for a nation of 60 million people over, that's not so many. But what if that was someone you knew? What if that was someone you loved? One of my best friends had his brother unfortunately pass away in an accident that was drink driving related. So it does happen. You're not too many degrees of separation away from someone who's been either seriously injured or passed away, for something like that. So personally for me, I think if Scotland have done it, and I don't know what the stats are with that, I imagine it has helped. I'd be surprised if it doesn't. Personally, I would lower it. I wouldn't make it zero tolerance. I think that's a bit extreme, but I would lower it to what the rest of Europe is basically, because for things like this, personally, I think it's sensible. So England and Wales and Northern Ireland, presumably as well, should lower their limits too to what Scotland is. But that is just my opinion. I want to hear yours as well, guys. Let us know in the comments below. And of course, keep it subscribed to themotoringchronicle.com to see much more content on the world of automation just like this.